Netflix has revealed its 10 most-watched shows from the first half of 2026, and based on 97 billion hours of viewing data, there are some results on this list that I really did not expect. Massive titles like Stranger Things, One Piece, and Bridgerton managed to enter the top 10, but some of them ranked much lower than I thought they would. The show that took the number 1 spot was the biggest surprise on the list for me. Now let's start from 10th place and move toward number 1, and take a look together at why these shows landed where they did. Let's get started. Number 10, The Night Agent. The third season landed at the bottom of the list with 36.1 million views. In the news story, Peter Sutherland follows a young Treasury employee who escapes to Istanbul with sensitive government information after killing his boss. But this operation quickly turns into part of a much bigger conspiracy involving dark money networks, journalists, and a world where it is impossible to know who to trust. Honestly, I think 10th place is exactly the right spot. I cannot say it is the best spy show in the world, but I am sure it has a loyal audience waiting for every new season, and I am part of that audience too. I still enjoy watching it, but when compared to the other titles on the list, I was not expecting it to climb much higher. Now Peter's story has one final season ahead, and I hope the show has saved its strongest mission for the end. Number 9, Miss Rachel. Rachel Accurso, known on YouTube for videos that help young children learn to speak, reached 37 million views on Netflix and entered the list among the biggest shows of the year. The interactive episodes prepared around letters, numbers, colors, shapes, and emotions are presented in English and reach families all around the world with subtitles in 33 different languages. At first, seeing this project on the same list as classic shows like Stranger Things or One Piece may feel strange, but young children do not watch an episode they like only once. They play the same songs and lessons over and over again. For parents, the value of finding safe and educational content is also very high. So 9th place shows how powerful the huge children's content market really is, even though adult viewers sometimes do not notice it. Number 8, Man on Fire. The 7-episode action series has reached 40.4 million views. Yahya Abdul-Mateen II plays John Creasy, a former Special Forces soldier suffering from severe trauma after a failed operation. While trying to distance himself from his past, he is forced to protect Poe, the daughter of an old friend, and finds himself inside a deadly conspiracy that stretches into the streets of Rio de Janeiro. Many viewers know this story thanks to the 2004 movie starring Denzel Washington. The new adaptation, however, builds a larger story from A.J. Quinnell's books and gives more time to Creasy's trauma, his search for redemption, and the bond he forms with Poe. 8th place is not a bad start, but with such a recognizable name and a strong cast, I would have expected it to create a slightly bigger impact if it wants to secure another season. Number 7, One Piece. The second season, which set sail for the Grand Line, reached 47.3 million views and passed many major titles. But for me, this is one of the most surprising results on the list. This time, Luffy and the Straw Hat crew move into much more dangerous places like Logtown, Reverse Mountain, Whiskey Peak, Little Garden, and Drum Island, while many beloved characters, including Chopper, join the story. Honestly, I was not expecting 7th place. I was expecting at least top 4. In fact, if I made my own Netflix ranking, I might not put this second. I might put it directly at number 1. Still, 47.3 million is not a number to underestimate, and the fact that filming for Season 3 has already been completed shows that Netflix is happy with the result. The second season may have stayed in 7th place, but I am sure the third season coming in 2027 will climb much higher. Number 6, Teach You a Lesson. The South Korean action series released in June reached 48.2 million views in only a few weeks. The story follows the fictional Office for the Protection of Educational Rights, which steps in when students, teachers, and even parents get out of control in schools. But the methods this team uses against bullying are much tougher than the guidance meetings we are used to. Kim Moo-yul and Lee Sung-min, reuniting with Juvenile Justice Director Hong Jong-chan, also brought significant attention to the show. But the most interesting part is that even though it was released very close to the end of the first half report period, it still managed to climb all the way to 6th place. It still has months ahead to grow its total viewership. It may be 6th right now, but I would not be surprised at all if it enters the top 3 on the full year-end list. Number 5, Runaway. The 8-episode thriller series adapted from Harlan Coben's 2019 novel collected 50.3 million views. Simon Green, played by James Nesbitt, loses his seemingly perfect life when his eldest daughter runs away. During his search to find her, a man connected to his daughter is murdered, and Simon is forced to face dark secrets about his own family that he never knew. It is not hard to understand why Netflix viewers keep returning to Harlan Coben's stories. Missing people, unreliable characters, family secrets, and a new twist at the end of almost every episode make these shows very easy to finish in just a few days. On top of that, being released on the first day of the year gave it a wide window to build viewership. But in a moment, we will see that another adaptation from the same author achieved an even bigger result. Number 4. Stranger Things. The fifth and final season of the story that began in Hawkins stayed just outside the top 3, with 55.6 million views. While Eleven and her friends fight Vecna and the Mind Flayer one last time, the town is placed under military quarantine, and the government launches a hunt to find Eleven. The nearly decade-long battle finally reaches the final confrontation that will decide the future of the Upside Down. I was genuinely surprised that this ranked below I Will Find You. Since it was the final season, I thought it would fight for number 1. But we also have to admit that the long waits between seasons caused the show to lose part of its audience over the years. People's interest has not completely disappeared, but that cultural explosion from the early years is no longer at the same level. Still, a show with 5 seasons staying in the top 4 with its finale proves that Hawkins will not easily lose its place in Netflix history. Number 3. I Will Find You. The 8-episode series starring Sam Worthington reached 63.9 million views during the reporting period. David Burrows is a father sentenced to life in prison for murdering his own son. After spending years in prison for a crime he says he did not commit, a photo appears suggesting that his son may still be alive, and David risks everything to find the truth. The success here was not limited to third place. The viewership continued in the following weeks, and by the end of 6 weeks, it reached 101.9 million, entering Netflix's all-time most popular English-language shows list. So a strong mystery, an emotional father-son story, and the Harlan Coben formula that makes you watch episodes back-to-back are still working. It unexpectedly passed Stranger Things, but the numbers show that this was much more than a temporary one-week interest. Number 2. Bridgerton. The 4th season missed the top spot by only 3.8 million views, reaching 100.2 million. This time, the story centers on Benedict, who falls in love with the mysterious lady in silver he meets at his mother's masquerade ball. But when he learns that the woman he is searching for is not actually a member of high society, but Sophie, a maid, fighting for her own dreams, the balance of the romantic fairy tale completely changes. I already expected it to be in the top 3, but seeing it climb all the way to 2nd place still surprised me. Netflix has been investing in this world for a long time. Even the Queen Charlotte spin-off drew massive attention on its own, and the 5th season is already being prepared. If I, as a male viewer, am following the show, we also need to think about how huge its main female audience really is. In my personal list, One Piece would be above this, but the 100 to million gap here does not leave much room for debate. Number 1. His and Hers. The 6-episode psychological thriller, starring Tessa Thompson and John Bernthal, beat all of its rivals in the first half of 2026, with 104 million views. Estranged married couple Anna and Jack try to solve a murder in a small Georgia town. Anna is a journalist investigating the case, while Jack is the detective leading the investigation. And even worse, both of them suspect that the other may be connected to the murder. I definitely did not expect to see this at the top of the list. But when you think about why it spread so quickly, some pieces start to fall into place. It is only 6 episodes long. It presents 2 different perspectives from the very first minutes, and it constantly forces the audience to figure out who is lying. On top of that, it places 2 strong names like Tessa Thompson and John Bernthal on opposite sides of the same mystery. Still, beating Stranger Things, Bridgerton, and One Piece all at once is easily the biggest surprise of the list for me. This ranking shows how much viewing habits on Netflix have changed. Big budgets and long-established brands are still important, but mystery shows that can be finished quickly and children's content that gets replayed again and again can also beat them in the same race. My personal ranking would obviously be very different. If Wednesday had been included in this report, I would probably put One Piece in first place and Wednesday in second place in my own top 2. So what was the biggest surprise on this list for you? Does His and Hers really deserve first place? Or would you rather see Stranger Things, Bridgerton, or One Piece at the top? Do not forget to share your own top 3 in the comments. And if you want to watch more videos about Netflix's new shows and upcoming seasons, you can subscribe to the channel and support us by liking the video. See you in the next video.